now we are going to the next keynote, and it's my real pleasure to welcome Mohamed ELsery, global expert in digital transformation of supply chain. Mohamed ELsery is a supply chain visionary, entrepreneur with a global expertise in high-tech startups and global supply chain transformation. Mohamed, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Laurent. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Laurent, for the introduction, and thank you for ADEO management team to invite me here. Really see a great arrangement for this data-driven day, and because we are speaking about data, and we are in the area of retail, do you know how much spend per minute online for online purchasing per minute? Anybody knows this information? It's every 60 seconds around $950,000 per minute spent online. So I believe you are looking for the biggest share in this number, right? So to introduce first myself, so I believe Laurent did a great job of introduction, but to let you know, I am a member in European Supply Chain Institution, and I worked in the biggest company in GSM as a digital supply chain transformation, and currently I'm a board advisor for 6 companies, mainly in digital supply chain transformation. They are global players. And we have our company, which is called Capital. And just in numbers, Capital is existing in 6 countries. You can see it's spread around the globe. So we are in US, we are in Netherlands, we are in Pakistan, we are in Egypt, we are in Dubai, and we are in Australia. We have more than 40 experts full-time, and we have around 2,000 SMEs, subject matter experts around the world, and they are covering or coming from around 15 countries. 20 years of experience, 5 different industries, which is telco, retail, industries, healthcare, and manufacturing. So we did some assignments, which is supporting operations to customize and to optimize their spend and to transform their supply chain, which is addressing more than 1.4 billion spend per year, which is really, we had some success stories which we'll share in the break with the teams. Okay, so I believe I need just to share with you who's the father of supply chain in the world. So I believe everybody guess who, so we need just to see this video. So you see how happy he is when he used the data and he used the technology to transform his business and the KPIs fulfilled. Actually, we have, in using data in supply chain, we have 5 pillars where we really see the impact of the transformation of the data utilization in supply chain. So we have predictive analysis, improvement, and we have a real-time supply chain. We have impact on the warehousing. When we transform the warehousing, we have in logistics, and we have the integration between the systems to see the data impact from either blockchain or artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. So if I'm just discussing a little bit about the history of supply chain of everybody, if you see out of our industries, what was the supply chain before? It was just perceived as logistics only. But later, it's started to consider the data, collecting some data and some information, making some planning. So very simple Excel planning and so on. And after that, there is already a kind of 3PL and 4PL outsourcing and integration of their systems to your systems. And then currently, it's using automation, artificial intelligence, IoT, all these applications. So that's why we are very important to use the data, as mentioned from all the speakers in the beginning, where we see the data is impacting our business in different areas. So, for example, in the sales, in the events. So you can see, for example, in your Christmas event. So we are planning ahead for the Christmas. We know exactly what is needed. So if I don't have predictive analysis about the trends before, I will not be able to plan myself to this event and to see what I need, which location, and so on. Even when I will go for the prices, so the prices and the offers and the packaging for these days, how much I need to drop off, what kind of prices in the competition, and so on and so forth. Promotions will be working on the same, even weather forecast. So in the channel of the logistics, you need to consider what kind of weather forecast coming, even for the ice cream when you are thinking about how much I need to put in ice cream in my place or in my shops or whatever. So all this going into the direction of what kind of predictive analysis I will use in supply chain. And of course, based on this, there is some dashboards which is giving you exactly using the historical data to put your predictions to make sure that you see the trends in every item or even the customer behavior. If I have customers in one region consuming a certain product more than the other region, I need just to make sure that I'm correlating this. For the part related to what kind of transformation I moved from to. So before, for example, there was a patching of planning. Now you have a real-time planning. So you are making a patch, and then you see later if it's going in the right direction or no. But now we have a real-time in digital supply chain. So it's more interactive. We can also plan the promotions. We can make the capacity planning in a proper way. Before, you cannot make the capacity. You can just see if it's fulfilling your need, yes, no. But now you can just dimension your capacity. There was before a lot of manual interactions with the systems. Now it's working with artificial intelligence to generate the trends and to see what kind of needs in supply chain. And before there was a little of what if, but now you have different scenarios. So you create more scenarios with your predictions of what are the risk management, what kind of actions that normally you can take. And this is, as mentioned, Laurent in the previous presentation. Actually, having this digital applications of supply chain make more of customer connection with our systems. So, for example, if I see Ford now making an interaction or interface with the customers where they customize their car. The features of the car, you can customize it online, and even you can track it till it's delivered. So you can easily see your car on the system, what kind of features, air conditions, heated seats, and so on and so forth. So creating this interaction in the platforms, this is create more even customer loyalty and retention. For warehousing, before warehousing was normally working on, dropping the goods, inventory, then managing and so on, but in a very highly physical interaction way. Now there is smart glasses that you can use, so it can easily locate the orders, so the orders can come connected to your smart glass. You can just locate your item. You can have smart pallets, or you can have an RFIDs. So all this revolution in the warehousing technology, this is because of the impact of the data. So this is where you can scale yourself. Where am I now in the warehousing technology? And if I will see Amazon as one example of what kind of technology they are using to be more responsive to their customers. So we have a video about that, seeing the robotics interaction in Amazon. So they are using something called Kiva Robotics, and they are having an exclusive agreement with them. They have almost 40,000+ units in their warehouses, where it's reducing significantly the human interactions with goods or with movements, and they are even customizing the size of the islands between the shelves and making sure that the minimum touch of human being, and it's just making an efficiency to deliver the goods to the sorting. So you almost see one or two guys moving, and the rest is all in machines and robotics. So this is showing how the technology supported a lot the supply chain, and how you can use the robotics in your supply chain to transform completely the timing of handling your inventory and delivery. And of course, this is creating more customer experience to be elevated and to make a customer loyalty to you, because you are fulfilling in a very good and reliable way. So for the digital supply chain, it's also not for warehousing, but it's for logistics as well. So for logistics, you can track easily your trucks, make an efficient tracking of the distances, fuel optimization, And it's starting, of course, from your planning to the routes, consolidating certain areas and certain distances. So it's easily giving you, by the end of the day, you can read a dashboard about where are the goods from point A to point B, from warehouse to another, from country to another, for even the delivery to the customers. So you can easily track your logistics, which is very important for you because it's part of your OpEx spend, how you can manage it and plan it. Okay, so these are the standard parts of the supply chain, but not only that. The impact of the data coming in the part of how I will integrate all the systems together. So, okay, if logistics separate, warehouse separate, and even the customer planning separate, no, you need to integrate all that together. So integrating that, having the full visibility of your systems together, you can use blockchain as one of the technologies, which is not only, by the way, used for cryptocurrencies, but it's used for more. You need to have data security because the data of either your customers or deliveries or warehousing, you need to have expertise in the IT industry, have your teams with elevated knowledge and training of how to utilize the systems to make sure that you have all collaborated systems. And maybe about blockchain, we can have more introduction. So I have a little bit of a video here. 1 second.
I have a way to describe what is blockchain, okay? So put yourself in a very specific scenario. You want to say, I love you to some girl, but you only say, I love you to the girl alone, without any witness. So that's actually a central system. Because once you wanted to deny what you said, nobody can endorse that, right? So if you want to say I love you to a girl with your friend as a witness, this we call the central system with a backup. So if you want to lie about that, like deny what you said, you also need to convince your friend to lie with you or lie for you. So that's a central system with a backup. So if you want to say I love you to a girl, but with random and multiple witnesses, you don't know them, but they are all listening to you, that's blockchain. So if you want to deny what you said, but all of the random people will, prove what you said, and you cannot deny that. So that's how blockchain works.
So this is simply just to give a little bit of knowledge what kind of blockchain understanding, because many people just hear it as a buzzword, but it's simply just a kind of end-to-end relation, witnessing and committed between the first party who's supplying or manufacturing and the customer or the user for these items. So if I will go to the integration, we see more than 90% of the data in the world generated in the last few years, like 3-4 years, collected on or on cloud or on the systems. We have 6% only out of this data on the cloud started to be used for predictive analysis, for what kind of forecasting and so on. So it's only 6% so far. But by 2020, around a third of data worldwide will be on cloud, because you see now migrations to the cloud-based data instead of having it on-premise. So 1/3 of this data will be on cloud. 65% of the supply chain leaders around the world adopting the digital transformation of supply chain. So it's not a kind of new trend, no. for implementation, yes, it's starting recently, like 5 to 10 years ago. But for the adoption now, for execution, it's more than 65% of the leaders of supply chain adopting this trend. We have 40% efficiency in the last 2 years only in the part of the supply chain when we are utilizing the data, increase in the efficiency. So you can see it, this is as an average. So in some areas of business, you can see it tripling their profits. In some areas, it's still lagging behind, but this is an average of 40% increase of the efficiency of supply chain. And it's making your delivery, only if we speak only about delivery, how it becomes faster. You have certain industries which is 4.25 times faster than before in delivery. There was a report done by Deloitte and, about digital supply chain and how it goes. So there are in legacy or the standard supply chain, there are some layers which is coming as support to supply chain from digital part like robotics or artificial intelligence or blockchain. However, there are now the new trend of supply chain on data base completely. It needs a lot of networking between different functions. And this is how it looks after putting the data as a core of your connection for your data of supply chain. I believe this is how the principles, but I will just share with you more about examples of how this applied in some industries or some known brands. So, for example, Adidas in Russia, they had some problems in sales, and they were looking to make some breakthrough. So they make a new concept which is called click and collect. So click and collect, it means that you can order and collect from the nearest point from Adidas. So you will make it online, and then you start to pick it from the nearest point of Adidas to your home. And when they started to implement this concept in the beginning, the forecast was saying, okay, it's 10 to 20 orders per week. But when they started to implement it, actually on ground, it became around 1,000 orders per week. So they got a shock that, okay, now we are not ready as a supply chain to cover this 1,000 picks and collect per week. So they look back to their supply chain and they started to restructure it on a way to cover this need. And after that, 70% almost of their sales, it's on click and collect. So you can see how you can plan your online sales. You need just to look into your supply chain to support. You need to make a right predictive analysis for that and how this impacting your sales. So this is one of the examples which is was recently, and it's giving a lot of success now for Adidas in Russia. One of the famous chains worldwide, especially started in Japan and then going to US and around the world now, it's 7-Eleven. And 7-Eleven is one of the most successful examples of how I'm customizing my service to the customer need, especially for grocery part. Because in 7-Eleven, you have an experience that you are interacting with a grocery shop near to the gas station. You can pay your bill, you can have your food, and the replenishment of the food as a cycle, it's going as predictive analysis of what kind of food requested at what kind of hour per day, and the cycle of the breakfast, and then the replenishment for the lunch, and then replenishment for after work, whoever will come back and pick their food. So there are many things that it's done in 7-Eleven, which is, considering the time, I have a big study about 7-Eleven. I will share it after that, which is showing how you consider as a customer-centric what kind of service and replenishment and the short time, because you need to have a fresh food, you need to have a dedicated services for these locations because it's near to a certain company which is having more traffic than the normal outlets in some other places. And in the same time, they are having election per area of one member, which is kind of an ambassador for the area needs, which is they are meeting with them every month and seeing if what we are presenting as a service or as a food or as a categories, it's really needed or there is something missing that we need to consider, which is very important of a customer connection that I'm asking the neighborhood experts if I'm fulfilling the need or they see something missing. So I can give this more focus and even more testing. And that's why they are keeping the trend of increasing their sales based on this theory. We have Yugo, is one of the Chinese suppliers for grocery, fresh grocery, and it's actually they are delivering almost 50,000 delivery per day. And of course, how it's fresh, delivered, good quality, otherwise they will not keep this brand or this trend of sales. And actually, in the beginning, they were just going in a very lean trend till they went online. So before they were traditional grocery sales company, but when they started to go through Alibaba and then having the trend of sales online and they have their platform, they started to go significantly sales as a market share, and they created their reliability because of also having the customer loyalty arrangement, checking what kind of quality they need, what kind of trend of food or groceries that they need per day. So one important question, okay, so if I will implement the whole digital supply chain transformation to my company, as a customer, because we are looking to see also what kind of customer experience will grow more, so I can think also on behalf of my customer. What is next of supply chain, digital supply chain interaction with the consumers? So actually, we were making some studies, and we see that there are some companies which is now developing arrangement to have a smart fridge, link it to the grocery, telling exactly what is missing based on the sensors for every area, and making the replenishment. There are smartwatches which is linked directly to the hospital and to the emergencies in case this smartwatch which is having your blood pressure, pulses, you are in the gym, you are feeling tired, or you have they captured certain trend which is very strange, it can arrange easily link to hospitals and then arranging the doctors or the emergencies or the checks of your health. So there are beyond the normal arrangement of digital interaction with customers, which we are even hearing now, there are already researches which is going beyond that. So about my expectations about supply chain future, I see that the supply chain will not be only a standard person of supply chain. No, they should be a data expert, an IT experts, more engaged in supply chain. Because now the real advantage on the e-commerce, the interactions with customers, is how to use the data and how to fulfill the customer need on the right time, with the right quality, and in very good connection. And now, because we are going to the gadgets and using all the, nobody moving without his device or his family devices. If 3-4 members in the family, they have more than 10 devices in the house. And of course, because of the traffic that we see around the world, especially for the big cities where the real business is, you need the auto delivery. So customer will not go that much to the shops to pick their goods, but it's more if you are arranging your auto delivery arrangement to the doorsteps. And this is where I see the new trend of supply chain. Thank you very much.